Before we start today's episode, just a quick update on the schedule front for me here at Chat Sports. So last week I told you guys that Friday, May 23rd would be my last day. Psych-ish. It's not a complete April Fool's. It's not a full Wolf of Wall Street, I'm not fucking leaving thing. But here's the updated plan. Over the weekend, I had a nice brunch with my bosses, and they proposed me when I come back from my honeymoon in the middle of June, sticking around in a smaller role. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to leave for my wedding and my honeymoon next week, and I'll be incognito, off the radar. And then when I come back from my honeymoon, I'm not going to come back to work at Chat Sports in the headquarters, in the office, but I will film videos for the Browns Report from my kitchen at home. So the reason behind all this is, one, while Chat Sports looks for a new host of the channel, this is a great way to make sure content is still delivered to be you guys. I didn't want to leave you all, hanging high and dry with no Browns videos all summer long. And then the third reason was, honestly, the comments were so kind over the last week that when my boss asked if I would want to, stick around in not quite the same type of role before, but still be on the channel and still put videos out, I couldn't say no. So it was an easy decision when faced with the opportunity for an extra 4 weeks from mid-June to mid-July, that's probably the end date for me, continue to put out videos. So I know I kind of teased everyone with I'm leaving, because at the time I did think that was the case, and then was given an offer to work in, I wouldn't say like a part-time role, but I guess part-time, just, contract of, hey, I'll put a video out every single day, film from my kitchen, and it seemed like too good of an opportunity for them, for me, and I hope for you guys as well. So slight change from the original plan, but at the end, I still am, leaving overall from Chat Sports. It's just a little bit later. So that's the update on the personal schedule side of things. Now let's get into the reason why you guys clicked on today's episode, which is we've got some NFL news topics to cover here. Let's go bit by bit. We'll start with the Bengals Bengaling, because they are idiots. I mean, kudos to them. They did find a way to pay both receivers, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Did not think they would get that done. But now they're having an issue with their first-round draft pick, Shemar Stewart, who has not signed his rookie contract. He's not participating in drills and voluntary workouts and things like that, which it's May. That's not something to freak out over if you're a Bengals fan, but it's really funny when you think about it this way. The whole reason why Cincinnati drafted Shemar Stewart was because they didn't want to pay Trey Hendrickson. So they wanted to go out and get a Trey Hendrickson replacement because they didn't want to pay the original guy. Now they won't pay the replacement. There is no other organization that this would happen to other than the team that's selling TVs half off in July of 2024 just to pay their rent. An NFL franchise, the Cincinnati Bengals. They won't pay the guy who led the NFL in sacks last year, and they won't pay his rookie replacement either yet. I'm sure the reason why Bengals and Stewart have not agreed to a contract is it's probably about some of the guaranteed money. Could be related to, if an injury happens, I still want this much guaranteed, which the Bengals, up until recently, wouldn't even put guaranteed money into a second year of a contract. So Stewart, which, by the way, was a pick I did not like for any team. The guy had 3 straight seasons of 1.5 sacks. That's just way too low of production for me to go first-round pick. But yeah, the broke bitches in Cincinnati are Bengaling again. On to the next storyline that I think could impact the Browns. Tush push. Ban did not happen. I thought it would happen. I wrote ban because it seemed like it was a foregone conclusion, which, by the way, tough year maybe for Diana Rossini. She was so adamant that this was going to get banned. And then the Eagles gave one hell of a PowerPoint presentation and pitch and speech. And the NFL did not receive, the minimum votes of 75% to ban the tush push, to pass that rule proposed by the Packers. So 22 teams voted to ban it, 10 teams voted not to ban it. One of those 10 teams, by the way, was the Cleveland Browns. So we had, by the way, a roller coaster of this entire saga here. I mean, at one point it was concluded without a vote, and they were going to debate in a privileged session with only a few owners. Basically, they wanted to kick Jason Kelsey out because he was intimidating a bunch of really old white dudes. So they had to make a secret, Sith Lord meeting, essentially. I have no issue with the tush push staying. I'm glad the Browns did not vote to ban it. It's Charmin soft. There's no real evidence of this play being extremely injury prone. The only reason why people wanted to ban it was because no one else could find a way to run it as well as the Philadelphia Eagles could, and no one could find a way to stop it. I would understand if they wanted to ban it because everyone was doing it and it was like a cheat code in a video game. But clearly it wasn't a cheat code, otherwise all 31 other teams would be doing it. So I'm never in the camp of ban something because you don't like it. That's some communist shit. I'm very happy that smarter minds prevailed and they did not just ban something because, it's unfair, we're not good at it. This is football. Third topic I want to discuss. The 2028 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles, as I'm sure you've all seen by now, will include flag football. If you don't know, by the way, whenever a country hosts an Olympic Games, they get to actually add, I think it's 3 different Olympic sports. Like when the Olympics were in Paris last summer, 2024, they added breakdancing. So the U.S. is adding flag football, which we are going to ship pump every Eastern European country into the abyss with this lineup. I mean, it's going to be unfair to the highest level we've ever seen. So a little bit of background on how flag football is going to work and how the Browns could be involved in it. First off, it's 5-on-5 with a 10-man roster. So you have a quarterback, a center, but the center just snaps it and then runs around. They don't actually block anyone, really. And then you got receivers and running backs. And then on defense, you have 1 rusher and 4 DBs. Here are the rules. It's a 70 by 25-yard field, so it's not super duper big. 2 20-minute halves. You have 4 downs to reach midfield, 4 downs to score a touchdown. I think it's important to note you cannot run the ball within 5 yards of the end zone. So there are still running components to the game. I'm no flag expert, but that could be good news for some running backs out there. Now, I think there are 3 players on this Browns roster that have a chance of making Team USA. Jerry Jeudy and Denzel Ward could make some sense, right? Jeudy, especially in a flag role, this is all about speed. This is not about strength. This is not about winning jump balls and, yards after contact. There's no contact allowed. And Jerry Jeudy, he is really tough to take down in open space, and he'd be really tough to pull a flag on. Denzel Ward is just pound for pound one of the fastest DBs in the NFL. Now, this is not for another 3 years. May not be the case 3 years from now. But if I'm thinking of Brownies, he's definitely going to come to mind. And then I had to toss out Myles Garrett. I don't think Garrett would actually be a perfect fit. And I really don't like even saying that out loud because he's Superman. He's a freak of nature. If he wanted to play flag, I'm sure he could master it. But he wins with his violence and physicality. And there's none of that in flag football. So you probably want someone who's a little bit more agile and quicker and faster, which I came up with 2 names that could probably fit that role better. Micah Parsons, Nolan Smith. But here is my Olympic team. I'll put Lamar at quarterback. 3 years from now, maybe you swap him out with Jaden Daniels, because at that point, Lamar Jackson, he'll be over 30 years old, so maybe Daniels will have an extra, spring in his step. Jahmyr Gibbs or Bijan Robinson would be great running backs. I just went with the LSU crew. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and Malik Neighbors. They're all going to be impossible for some poor British DB to take down. And then on defense, how about Travis Hunter to play both ways? Pat Surtain could definitely play both ways. Derek Stingley, he's super fast as well. You need speed when it comes to flag football, not strength. So who do you think should quarterback Team USA? I think because of the speed, Lamar would be better than Mahomes. This is not tackle football. Josh Allen with the cannon of an arm would be a ton of fun, but with a shortened field, it's not like Allen could throw it any further than Lamar could. So that kind of neuters one of Allen's biggest strengths. So I think Lamar or Jaden Daniels would be great Team USA flag football quarterbacks. Fourth and final news item I want to cover is the playoff seeding. So getting back to the real nuts and bolts of some of these owner discussions, the Detroit Lions propose a new rule when it comes to seeding for the playoffs, which is it is purely based off record, and there is no more preference given to division winners, right? We all know if you win the division, you're at least the 4 seed, and then the wild card teams follow suit after that. Well, the Lions, despite winning the NFC North last year, wanted to do away with that. However, a day before the NFL owners convened, they decided, hey, we're not getting a lot of support for this, so we're going to pull the plug on our own rule proposal. But it did get me thinking. If this were to go through, where it's just 1 through 7, the best seed's the 1 seed, the worst seed's the 7 seed, regardless of where you finish in your division, how would that have impacted the Browns since 1999? The team has made the playoffs 3 times in that span. In 2023, just 2 years ago, they were the 5 seed, right? They did not win the division. They played at Houston, who did have a worse record because the Texans won the division. So, in the Detroit Lions proposal, the Browns would have actually been the 4 seed. They would have hosted the Texans. So, in that situation, it would have benefited Cleveland. The other 2 situations, not really all that much. In 2020, they would have been the 6th seed all over again. In 2002, they would have jumped up 1 spot in the seeding. So, it's not like I'm here advocating for this new rule because it would have been huge for the Browns. Just worry about making the playoffs first. I also don't like this idea. I love division rivalries. And if winning your division doesn't guarantee a home playoff game anymore, it's going to water it down a little bit. And I would hate that. I would hate in the last week of the regular season for teams to have less to play for because, well, it's not like if we win this game, we get to host a playoff game anymore. It's all about overall record. Sure, there are some instances of a team hosting a playoff game that has no business hosting a playoff game. We've seen some teams below 500 do this. The football team in 2020 against Brady and the Bucks, that was when Taylor Heineke played Brady the closest of any team in the playoffs. Obviously, Marshawn Lynch and, hold my dick against the Saints. That was a 7-9 Seahawks team. The Bucks, I think, post Brady were 8-9 and they won the NFC South. But to me, those are not, frequent enough occurrences to go, this entire operation needs to be shaken up. All right. Is that all we have for today, Reed? Let's pick a card to wrap it all up.
Give me 8 of clubs.
8 of clubs. I'm going to say, give me Jack of diamonds. King of diamonds. King of diamonds. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We're going to sign off and see everyone next time.